Do you feel that while you were going through pharmacy school, did you feel kind of pressured maybe by big pharma in a sense? Do you feel there was some sort of influence by them to say, hey, more is better, guys? Like, let's just do it, keep giving, keep doing, or was it not really witnessed and you just went along?
I think at that point in time, I was just going through the motions.
Yeah.
You know, you're in this program, you've got to get through it. So it's buckle down and bear through. But looking back on it, I can definitely see the influence, because we're taught to read, studies and practice evidence-based medicine. Well, who's footing the bill for those studies, right?
Yeah. Follow the money trail, right?
Follow the money trail. Follow the money. And no one's telling you that in school. No one's telling you that these studies are being funded by these companies.
And, you said something there that hits a point. It's, I feel like when you're in the integrative world, you have this sort of against pharma, against big pharma, stop using drugs. It's like, I disagree with that. I don't think it's a black or white issue that you're either all for pharmaceuticals or not. I believe they absolutely have a part in medicine. Yes. And a somewhat critical role, because you're right, they do save lives in very, specific circumstances. But I just feel they're overprescribed. They're the first thing we go to instead of looking at things like nutrition, lifestyle, supplementation, everything like that. Where you are now, are you doing that more where you are saying to people, hey, let's start here. If that doesn't work, we go here, and we end at the drug of choice, especially if you're looking at something that's a chronic condition that's been there for years? Sure.
So I think part of my role is really a lot of people who I speak with are already on a lot of medications. That's just where they're starting at, because they're not starting with us, right? Like most people are not starting with the holistic practitioners. They're starting with their primary care physician. They're starting with, and then another pet peeve of mine is that we divide people into all the specialties, right? Like your PCP doesn't address all your issues. If you have anxiety, they send you to psychiatry. If you have a heart problem, they send you to cardiology. And so we divide people up. And then that's how we end up on 38 prescriptions a month, because no one person is taking responsibility for the whole person, for their whole patient. We're just, it's money. It's financially driven, right? That everyone has to have their piece of the puzzle. But yeah, I would say where I start with people is, look, you've tried everything. You've been on these medications for years. You're not feeling better. So why don't we start to plug some nutritional holes? And then there's actually a term for this. It's called deprescribing. So as you get someone healthier, they can start, with the blessing of their providers to taper off some of these medications, because there are some medications like SSRIs that you just can't discontinue.
Yes.
And some people have chronic long-term conditions that they may need to be on medications for a long period of time, but you can address and support the person while they're still taking drugs. I don't think it has to be this. It's not black and white, right? It's not black and white, or at least to me, it's not.
No, it's not. And I do see it as there are two camps. There are camps that are just getting ill and on the path to medication, where those you could probably intervene early and say, let's try something before you go on these. That would be the beautiful way if doctors did that, which it sounds like what you're absolutely advocating for and do. And then there's the other side, which you just mentioned, that yes, so many people are on medications. How do we then prescribe you these and get you off, wean you off back to healing yourself, not relying on management through prescription drugs?